everybody, and welcome to This Made My Week, a weekly show dedicated to good news, inspiring stories, and good people. And today, on my 30th episode, I'm so excited to share this interview that you're about to see with a music therapist. You know, over the years, I've tried many different forms of therapy and work on myself. I've tried many tools, but during this time of the year, I always remember that about 4 or 5 years ago, I tried music therapy and it worked wonders for me. I loved it. I only had a few sessions, but it really unlocked something in me and I got so much from it. So I was so excited to learn that Greta, music therapist working here in Lithuania in Vilnius, wanted to be on the show. So we had the loveliest conversation. Get ready. It's packed of gems and good advice and good information. You will learn what music therapy is, how she works with her clients. She shares a tool that works for her to go from really, really high emotions to come back to her neutral space using music. So I'm sure that everybody will take some nuggets from this conversation. So please watch, listen, digest, experience it, and enjoy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And I will see you next week. Enjoy the conversation.
Hi, good morning, Greta, and welcome to This Made My Week.
Good morning. We are like two sunshines today.
Right? On a Monday morning, also, I might add.
Yes.
So, any tool that works to brighten up the week, the Monday morning, I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it. All right. So, I want to jump straight ahead into the conversation because I have so many questions. I want to learn so many things about you, what you do, about you as a person. So, my very first question is for myself and also for all the viewers. So, you are a music therapist. Can you
Yes.
tell a little bit more about it, what you do, how your day looks like for people who don't know what that is or, they never had therapy in their life before? So what do you do?
That's a very tricky question.
Loaded one.
I kind of expected it. Well, I am a music therapist. But to clarify what I do, I should probably clarify what music therapy is.
Go ahead.
So the most common thing that people imagine when I say that I'm a music therapist, they imagine that, I come to the room, hit the play button on the computer, put the sound on, and they sit and relax. That's all my job that I do.
Uh-huh.
In the better case scenario, that, I just come with singing bowls. They lie down, very nicely on the ground, and I play for them.
Right.
So I don't do those things.
Uh-huh.
That's not music therapy.
Uh-huh.
So I'm working as a music therapist with adults.
Mhm.
I'm working mostly in the mental health clinic setting.
Mhm.
So I work now in 3 places, actually. It's quite a lot. I work in clinics of Shishkina. So that's, for people who have various mental health issues. Like depression, it could be schizophrenia, it could be burnout, it could be, suffering from a loss that you can't deal with by yourself. So I work in this day clinic setting, and I do music therapy there for adults with various mental health issues. I also work in the Vilnius clinic for psychic health. And there I do this as well with a bit different people. Sometimes they not just come for the therapy, they also may be, hospitalized. But, the area is the same. And then I work also privately. I have individual sessions. I have some group sessions or groups, like it changes. And I also do like those circle for women exploring their voice, because it's a huge topic. So I have no days in my week that look alike. Every single day is different. And I also like this for myself because I can't stand, like this constant, like 9 to 5. Well, that's for myself. It can be good for people, but that's not like that. So usually now I get up, I go to the clinic, and I have music therapy group sessions. Usually they are like from 1 to 4 sessions. It depends, on the day, on the clinic. And the people come, with various challenges, let's say.
Mhm.
And what we do, we work through those challenges using music, like listening to music. It can be, but not laying down.
Mhm.
We play with instruments. We play different music games, let's say. We sometimes even create our own songs, or we sometimes can, like do the music for the painting, for example. So from the outside, my job looks like I'm going, and having fun and playing games. But what people don't see is that every single thing that we do has, a hidden goal or a hidden meaning. And everything is about, the inner work, dealing with anxiety, with depression, with stress, with tension, with trauma. So that's my, like mental health clinic setting work. And in the evenings, I usually have individual consultations or my private groups for people who doesn't have theoretically, diagnosed issues, but they also, like dealing with some maybe previous trauma, maybe anxiety, or they just already hear, from the body that like they cannot, live peacefully and quietly, and they need to do something, and they start
Mhm.
exploring. They come to me. So, and every day is different. I like it for myself. So from outside, I do play a lot. Like, like I'm just having fun. And actually, it's a lot of inner work, like really deep processes.
Mm, yeah. A few years ago, I think 4 or 5 years ago, I had a pleasure of trying music therapy myself. And I think in the same clinic where you work with one of your colleagues, I only had,
Mhm.
I think, 3 sessions, and I absolutely loved it. I like it really unlocked something in me. I got what I needed at the time, and it was time. So I only had 3 sessions, but it was so, so powerful. And in one of your videos, you also said that our brains want security and they want to know, they want to be in control, but our hearts, they want us to live, or our hearts want to live. And I thought that was so beautiful. So what do you think, like what does music do that allows us to go into our hearts and to kind of bypass the brain, the thinking brain? How does the magic of the music work?
Yeah, so that's a very, very good question. Thank you. I always say for people who come to music therapy or who like things like, sorry for the language, but what the fuck? That's what's usually in the head, it's the best expression.
Yes.
So I always say that if we could explain everything and clarify everything for ourselves and the others, with words, the life would be very easy,
Right.
like
Mm-hmm.
for me happening this because this and that,
Mm-hmm.
like I have to do this, so like just do a plan, structure your week, like and just perfect,
Mm-hmm.
like everything is perfect. You read a book and just like boom, you're healthy, you're calm, the life is perfect, like easy.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason it doesn't work like that. And that is because we are much more complex and we are much more than our brain. So, we have bodily sensations, we have emotions. And the funny thing is that we have many, tools to work with our mind, to train it, for example. We have many tools to work with our body and to train it, like Olympic Games was just in July. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a question, that we can do it and we can overstep our boundaries. But then we don't have any tools to reach, our inner world, where it's like those deep experiences that we sometimes don't even we can't explain it in words.
Mm-hmm.
So arts, music, dance as well, like arts therapy, like painting, is the key to this, like inner world, well, where the words they don't reach us, or maybe yet they cannot describe it. And through this, like metaphor, let's say I had training this weekend, and we also talked a lot about metaphor, through this metaphor, through this, experiencing while not understanding, we can dive deeper into this feeling that we feel, in our heart, in our body, actually in our mind as well. But mind already, like put it in different, drawers. Like, where is it? Like this, that, and that. And usually that connection is from the experiences we had. How could we explain it at that moment? But it's not necessarily like this. So tapping in this metaphor and in this sometimes very, like crazy sometimes, let's say, things, like I don't play, I'm not a musician, for example, and I play drums. Or I like, we take 3 instruments and like we do an improvisation on our family. And you cannot describe it in words, actually, what you are doing. But after doing that, people say that, okay, it felt like it was my family, like I was communicating, with my, for example, mom, like I was this little child. So there are no words, but they do it and they connect, all the senses, the brains, the body, the heart, and they experience it. So our heart, this part is not about words, but about experience. And in music therapy, that's the beautiful thing for me. Because like every task that I give, I call it in my head like a little simulation of life. When you experience it, when you're there, not like after, when like, okay, it was that and that. So this experience it, this moment doing it, and you can control it actually exact at that moment. So this thing, like you have to go from your head to your heart, to your body sensations. And if you can't go, so probably it's the first session. And it's also a process that you see, okay, like I cannot let experience myself something other than I know.
Yes.
And we cannot know everything.
Yes.
I mean, it's not possible. So
No.
it's, this like journey. Arts arts is the form, actually, how we, like develop this, like feelings, emotional words, sensations. And most of the art, actually, even if you just go, to the museum and watch or listen, most of it you cannot understand, or you just like look and feel something. Not necessarily it's pleasant, actually. Just feel something and something is happening to you.
Yes.
But you can only interpret it, like you just can only think, or see the title of it, but you cannot actually know what the artist experiences there. Although there are methods that I teach in outside clinical work, to be able to tap into that as well. But that's this part where people initially they did this like from the, I don't know, Stone Ages, like they painted, they sang, they danced, because they couldn't express the inner world in other ways.
Right.
So we're kind of tapping there. Like people did it from the, like many, many, many million years ago. We're just coming back to it, actually.
I love it. I love what you just said about the metaphor. I love your answer. I'm kind of digesting everything because the answer was very loaded as well. So thank you.
Yeah, that's my problem. You cannot speak about it, like
In
in
easy
those
terms.
few
Yeah.
words.
Yes.
I cannot
Yes.
do it myself.
No, but that's beautiful. Do you think all music has the capacity? Does all music allow us to go into our feelings, or do you think some specific music has a stronger effect on our emotions and our sensations? I know it's very individual, but like generally speaking, but theoretically speaking, I guess, does all
Yes.
music can do that?
Yeah, so it's also very, actually their questions are very good. I'm so happy.
Good.
Yeah, so I always say that there's no bad music. So like we can use all the possible music and it will have, different processes for different people. We can use the same music for different people, it will be different.
Sure.
So there's no bad music. That's the first thing what I say. Sometimes I ask people to bring the song so we could listen to it, like
Mhm.
what's dear to their heart for some reason.
Mhm.
They don't have to explain it if they don't want to, but they bring it. And I always start by saying, it can be in any language, any style. It can be with words, without words. It doesn't matter, because the music is also an expression of feelings from from the person who wrote it.
Mhm.
So there's always, it affects us.
Mhm.
And it's only a matter of finding the right song for the right client, and we do it together. So it's also the partner. Well, music therapists, they have to have background, and the stronger the better in music.
Mhm.
So it's just not a song. I hear it like in so complex layers,
Mhm.
because like there's a lot of information.
Mhm.
The only thing what I say, that there's different types of music where people really feel it when they sing it,
Mhm.
for example, and it's their expression. And there's another type of music, but it's like more for our days.
Mhm.
When people, create it, even with AI, you can create today, like something.
I was about to ask, yeah, what about
Yeah,
AI music?
you can create, like the lyrics, the music with computer, and so on and so on. So it will affect us anyway,
Uh-huh.
because it's a sound, it's a wave, it's physics actually, it will
Yes.
affect us anyway, but it probably won't touch that deep, in this emotional world,
Mhm.
because there actually are no feelings there, and we
Right.
we can listen to it. But it still be, it could still be, for example, useful if you wanna, I know, focus on your work doing tasks. I also
Yes.
teach about using music wisely, or I call it smart cheating.
Uh-huh.
Do what works for you. If this like AI created, like constant beat without any emotion music, if it helps you concentrate,
Uh-huh.
so why not to use it if you have, some Excel sheet to create and to fill it. So
Yes.
it will still affect you. It won't just be, that emotional effect on you as something created, from the heart. But
Uh,
all the music is useful. It's just a matter of what the purpose is actually.
right. All right. Recently, I did a segment on this show about acoustics ecologist. His name is Gordon Hampton. So what he does, he basically travels around the world with his microphone, and he kind of catches all the sounds. And what he said, that there's a huge noise pollution, and there are barely any places left in the world without human-made sounds, human-made noises. So whether that's a plane flying above, a machine somewhere in the background, electric, buzzing somewhere above your head. So that really touched me. That really stayed with me, and I kept thinking about it. That we don't actually encounter silence, like real silence anymore, nature silence. So also from your perspective, what do you think? What effects, like what's the difference between encountering music, man-made music, and sounds from the nature on our mental health and overall well-being?
Oh, yeah, that's another perfect question. I always say that, that's also why we are so tired most of the time.
Mhm.
One of the aspects, I mean, the picture is big, of course, it's not only about the sound, but that we live in a very noisy world,
Mhm.
and the people who work, for example, in big centers, shopping malls, and so on, they usually, if they're smart, they don't use music, just like accidentally, like oh,
Mhm.
like, I like this and put it on. They put on music that's like activating,
Mhm.
encouraging us to making fast decisions and to
Mhm.
shop, for example.
Mhm.
So this is one part. The other part is the noise that you told about, and I also did while studying music therapy. I was in a project from the Netherlands, I think the project came,
Mhm.
and we were doing compositions, recording sounds, outside,
Mhm.
and compositions from it, like from
Mhm.
this
That's cool.
noisy chaos. I have it actually somewhere. Like the grass, this how is it called? This cutting the grass, noise.
Uh-huh.
For example, the cars and so on, and so on. And it's really a lot. So what I say for people that it's not, it's the constant that we're living it. So, and this is also one of the reasons why we are so disconnected from ourselves, because everything is fast, everything, is noisy, it's very anxious, and we don't have time to find, this ground to the nature, to the feet, to this like body as an animal, let's say, like we are living creatures. So what I suggest also for people, and I like to do this like let's say nature improvisation. Say that nature is an incredible, amazing resource for us, because through the sound we connect, to it, to this living being inside ourselves. We can recharge, because then we're not, like robots functioning, doing the work like
Automatically.
perfectly and automatically, and the more the better. And then we're suddenly again living creatures. So it's incredible resource and help. And what I say, we don't always can, go outside to the forest, or we need to find the forest that
Yes.
it's really a forest, because the park is not the same.
No.
So either way, I do it the improvisation with instruments that sound like nature, like ocean drum, thunder drum, rainmaker, because the instruments many come from there. Or I always say people, YouTube today is a free resource. You only have to have internet. There are like so many nice nature sounds, recorded perfectly. So if you can go there, use it, because it's, I mean, well, music works in different ways, not in all cases you can go to nature and listen to those sounds, because it will be too quiet and too different from the state that you are in. So you might get more angry, actually, because it's different. They always say that you have to, like going stairs down, not like from the first one to the last. You don't skip what's in
The
between.
steps. Yes.
Yeah, you go like gradually, like one step by step. But you can, if you're not in a very agitated mood or something like that, or you just can do a like faster walk to ventilate the emotions, and then go into the nature. And it's an incredible, nice resource to self-regulate. So it's always about also using it. Nature, the sounds, yes, I love it, but just it's not. It should be also used in the right way, quite consciously, because otherwise it could be like, oh, I hate those birds.
Yes.
Why are they like sounding like they sound so loud and so on? And that's then you make this assumption like, oh, I hate it. Nature like doesn't help me at all. Like it gives me headache, But it's not about nature. It's about learning how to come to this listening to nature. So there's no space between that.
That's beautiful. My sister and I, we had a conversation also for this channel. Well, we talk a lot, but on this channel, when I asked her to be on the show, also she said this phrase that I keep using, that nature never disappoints. It's our tool that we both use. We always go for hikings and walks. Like nature never disappoints. It always supports us, and it's always there to support us. That's one of my major tools that I use daily if I can. But speaking about self-regulation, you mentioned this word. I am curious also from a professional perspective. So, as a life coach, I know that I get a huge, huge privilege of seeing people in their most vulnerable moments and their raw experiences. I get to see their truth. I get to see like their true selves. And this is such a huge privilege that I never ever take for granted. This is the honor of my life to be in the space together with them, to witness that and to hold space for them. Like that's for me, that's one of the things that, makes my day every single day when I work. So I wanted to ask you, you are teaching people also to you co-regulate with them, and then you teach them to self-regulate and all of those good skills. But what is happening in you during those sessions also? And what effect has it had in your life to be able to see people's vulnerabilities and their truth.
Yeah. So what you're saying, about this being for the others, it is a gift, and for me, it comes from my own journey, because as I say, we all, grew up with some kind of, mental struggles or emotional struggles, especially in Lithuania, like the generations, from Soviet, Union changing, like everything collapsing. I mean, oh my God, it's a tragedy actually,
Mm.
And I always say, that our parents that they raised us, well, they were living in a terrible time actually. I mean,
Parents and their grandparents and their
yeah,
great grandparents, because there were
well,
actual war, and
yeah, I mean, so like there's a baggage
yes.
that comes, and I also, I worked quite a lot. I did many, 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 many things. I started actually working as I was 14, I guess.
Wow.
Uh, so, well, it was like I was helping in the music singing studio.
Mhm.
I was like an assistant, but like it was very nice also for me. But I learned a lot because I started at 14, working with other people, teaching them, and the kids and communicating with adults and so on. But then I also like when I don't know, it was like 7 years ago or so on. I discovered music therapy.
Mhm.
I also discovered at that time it was like this emotional I mean like seminar or courses for emotional intelligence at that time.
Mhm.
So it kind of two of them came together. And at the same time, I lost a very dear friend that committed suicide.
Oh.
And at that time, I was like really workaholic, like
Mhm.
really workaholic, and I can do many things in very quite short time. Like I'm the
Mhm.
productive, effective one.
Mhm.
And at that time, I got this, insight that people are more precious, than objects,
Mhm.
and that people aren't here for forever.
Mhm.
The book that you read or like read, half of it, and you put it can wait for you actually. I
Mhm.
mean, well, at least a disaster happens and it burns, but no, normally you can buy another one. So it's like, who
Yes.
cares actually? And people, they can't.
Mhm.
And there started my own journey with music therapy actually. And there was one seminar, my first experience of music therapy.
Mhm.
I remember as now, I was sitting there, like we were several people, I don't know, maybe up to 10, like not many. And there was sitting like one woman, a young woman, and she was like, she was a music teacher, and she was, already talking that, even though she's not a music therapist, she already uses some music therapy methods on her children, I mean, that the students, let's say, to teach, one or another thing. But I was observing her, like during the whole seminar, and she was so judgy.
Mm.
Voice was like always so tense that I mean, it was hard even to sit next to her.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking at her and thinking, okay, she already works as a therapist. Well, she
Uh-huh.
imagines as a therapist, like using those methods, but in her heart, she was like a therapist, She works with other children, other people, and she's like in such a bad state, actually.
Mm.
And that place, a promise for myself, my inner promise was born that I have to work first with myself,
Mhm.
only then work with others.
Mhm.
And I actually discovered that promise. It was kind of, like made at that moment. So it was conscious, but, like, more like an deep experience.
Mhm.
But from there, it was kind of an intention was set. And I started, like working through all my childhood and all, the self-regulation things. And I really went, into my inner journey for myself, like taking off the glasses, how I grew up and so on. I mean, and it was many, many beautiful things, but also many painful things.
Mhm.
But then I kind of looked at it with other eyes and I started working on myself.
Mhm.
And I even did my master degree in autoethnography. Yeah, I think it will be.
Ooh. Mhm.
So no, it's what it means. It means that I take my own personal experience,
Yeah.
and I also use music therapy methods. Well, in this case, on myself.
Uh-huh.
Oh well,
Uh-huh.
Then I add this, like a reflection side and this psychology side, to analyze it. So it was
That's so interesting.
it
Mhm.
was an incredibly intense year. I'm very happy for my and one, especially one friend that always was there to support me, and also for my mentors of this
Mhm.
thesis,
Mhm.
because they were guiding me so nicely, because the process was insane actually, but
Mhm.
this was the epiphany of my inner work. And I really
Mhm.
like I got through this, inner journey myself, like being
Mhm.
really vulnerable,
Mhm.
like, seeing even painful things and then reflecting it and analyzing it and then, giving it a new meaning.
Mhm.
So I went through it myself actually. And
Mhm.
and then you have to write it and then rewrite it and then, like
Mhm.
read it time to time again. And it's like, oh my God. I mean, I was never that sick for such a long time in this period in my life actually, because like it was half in a month when I was like just laying in bed, like cold, COVID, and everything like that. But it was like it was coming from there actually, because
Psychosomatics. Mhm.
yeah, it was like wow. But since I went through it myself, I learned how to deal with it. And and when I sit with people, it's not like, oh, yeah, you have some little thing like, don't worry about it. I know what it feels, to go through those
Yes.
processes myself. I
Yes.
can go, and I think you would agree with me that you can go through all the illnesses, challenges, and so on personally, but it's the method how you work with something through.
Uh-huh.
It's this vulnerable side that you encounter, that
Mhm.
you then say, okay, it's mine as well. And when you
Mhm.
do this work, then you sit with other people and say, okay, so I have this, as you said, at the beginning, I have this, like, also it's a gift for me to be there for
Mhm.
them. And there's also the hope, and that it's not theoretically possible, but
Mhm.
it's possible for real, you know?
Yeah. And it
That's
is happening in the moment.
yes,
You see it
yes,
unraveling. Mhm.
yes, exactly. So for me, then it was like this anchor
Mhm.
that we as human, we are incredibly complex, but actually we have incredible big resource in ourselves. We just
Mhm.
sometimes need, help to build it, to discover it, and to fill
Mhm.
it. And then like
Mhm.
it's about the journey, as long as it's safe.
Yes.
And as I say, baby steps.
Mhm.
So this comes, someone hold, the space for me and help me. So
Mhm.
now it's like the meaning for me to continue.
Mm. Beautiful.
Let's come from there.
This process never fails to amaze me. Like in every single session, I'm like, didn't see that coming. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah.
exactly.
You think you know everything, after years and years, but actually you don't. And
Oh,
it's a gift that keeps on giving. Oh, that's how I
yeah,
call it. Mhm.
I always say that, if there would be one single unique recipe, for everybody to be happy.
Mhm.
So I mean, like you read the book and it's fine,
Mhm.
magical, like something that works for everybody. But that's the beauty of the world, that we all are, like authentic,
Mhm.
authentically complex,
Yeah.
And
Yes.
there's always, with each person, there's always a different journey. It can't
Mhm.
be the same, because it's
Mhm.
like so many million things that come to put together this like unique, journey
Mhm.
for each of one. So yeah,
Totally.
you
Okay.
cannot know.
Nope.
Never,
Nope. Nope.
never,
Uh,
never. Yeah.
okay, Greta. So, I started the show. This made my week at a point in my life where I was just fed up with all the negative news. Obviously, so many terrible things are happening in Ukraine and Gaza, and I reached inflation, and I reached the point where I was like, I really need to have a tool in my life, or I have to create space in my life where I dedicate my time, effort, and attention for joy and good news, and to remind myself that actually good things are happening every single day, that people are good, and that no matter, of the bad news, that good things are also happening at the same time. So this is my kind of discipline. I haven't failed a week, I think, since I started. This is gonna be my
Wow,
30th
that's
week in
discipline.
a row. Yes.
Nice.
And I'm very proud, and I'm enjoying this process so much. I've learned so many good things that are happening around the world. I've like learned about cool communities, heart-centered businesses, like cool people. So it had such a major effect on me and on my well-being, learning about good things. So this is a joy and pleasure also creating the show. Like, for example, I'm getting to meet you and learn all about you. Like, how cool is that? So
Yeah, for
this
me
is
as
yeah.
well.
So this is my way of, being responsible and taking care of my joy that I connect to. So do you have any practices in your life? There are perhaps disciplines as well, small or big, how you connect to your joy.
That's a very good one. Well, now at the last 1 or 2 years, my main actually practice is giving time for rest.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the things that I say people have to plan it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen you like accidentally.
No.
And even if it does happen, you're probably not in that mind or state to actually be enjoying it. So one of the main thing is to create like to book a spot that's
Mm-hmm.
as important as the others,
Mm-hmm.
to have proper time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
And this means to rest for me means time to reflect, time to be in nature in some way.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I have this little garden, like like now, like 9 months, probably a year, you can be outside on the grass, bare feet, like, or I know, digging in the earth. That's my like guilty pleasure, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
my black fingers, so nice. Just
Uh-huh.
happy, that's my recipe. So
Uh-huh.
it's like a reflection, this home time, this nature time.
Uh-huh.
And then also this like passive like doing nothing time.
Uh-huh.
But I say it now because it took quite a lot of time until I was able just to lay down, do nothing, and enjoy it. That's
Yes.
not easy at all. I can say it from my personal
As a recovering workaholic.
yeah. But now I'm in this phase and I'm very happy.
Uh-huh.
But the one thing that I do, besides this, because like I don't like have every second day free.
Mhm.
So I always use music. What a surprise.
Didn't see that coming.
Didn't see that coming. Actually, I always use music and I use it very consciously.
Uh-huh.
So, like to put it, in a short way, if I'm, like tired, or I have some, or I had, maybe a hard session where many tough emotions came up. It's not necessarily, that I have to deal it, in a rational way, because I understand, the process and I kind of enjoy it. But in the body, it's there. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you cannot run from it. So really like to put on, even the metal or rock music. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
with metal music, so all the music is good,
Mm-hmm.
just to have a quick walk, or to go extra, like a kilometer, just with like
Mm-hmm.
this, active, sometimes a bit angry music.
Mm-hmm.
I go, 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 go until I feel that, okay, like this adrenaline, stress, and everything like that, like just, gets lower, from my body. And then I switch the music to something, in between, maybe active, but not, but not relax FM, as I say yet.
Uh-huh.
And I like let go myself through this journey, then like something active, something nice. Maybe I like some, I know, nice emotions. And then after that, it comes, this like slow, relaxing music that I really like, to end the journey with. So it's my, self-regulation method that really helps. And it comes,
Nice.
you have to give, place for all the emotions, and if you're tired and if you're angry and so on and so on. But then just kind of go to the journey, and like music really, really, really helps, because we tend to synchronize with it. Like
Mm-hmm.
automatically, we don't have to do anything actually. Our body,
Mm-hmm.
it gets impulses, and it's like it wants to go together, So kind of, do this little journey, and I enjoy it very much.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's such a cool tool. I think all the viewers can use it.
Yeah, of
You know.
course. Yes, yes, yes,
Mm,
they can. They really can.
that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, my final question then. What
Oh,
made your week?
what made my week?
Uh-huh.
It's the beginning.
I know what last week. Last week. You can choose any days that you want.
Mm, pram. Okay. Well, actually, I just had all the weekend was for trainings,
Mhm,
professional trainings that I was participating as a participant.
mhm,
So even though it was, those days where I probably would rest already
mhm,
and would be very happy about it, but I really enjoyed this time, these trainings, because it was time to reflect for me as a professional, and to remind myself from a therapist. She's a dance movement therapist, but she's like working, I don't know, like 30, 40 years maybe. I mean, she's
yeah,
a long time there,
uh-huh,
to put the worth and the meaning in those little things that we are working with, and those, like sometimes little progress that
uh-huh.
and enjoy this process, because it's so important. So this space for reflecting and remembering this really made my week, this like deep sense of meaning.
Mm,
Sometimes we need that as well when we do, sessions.
mm. Gorgeous. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for coming, sharing all
Thank
your
you for
wisdom, all
inviting
your
me. I had such a
knowledge.
good time. Oh my
Same.
God.
Yeah.
I could do this every week with you.
That's awesome. All right. Before I let you go, can you please tell us where people can find you? Because I know you create content online as well. So if anyone
Yeah.
is interested, let them know.
Yeah, so my Instagram, well, I prefer Instagram now, but Facebook is the same as well. So it's Scambantisiela.
Hmm.
I, I don't
I'll
even.
write everything down in
Yeah,
the
okay,
description
because
box. Hmm.
I didn't find an English well sounding, nicely sounding
Hmm.
translation of that. And I also have my webpage in the same name, where, I put the events and information. But the Instagram is probably the best place to go and to find everything that I invite to, all the activities and all my thoughts, and yeah, just to be a part of it.
Okay, awesome. Your Instagrams, come in Distilla. And also, do you have any events coming up where people can join you?
Open events. Let's think. Let's think. Yeah, so I have one project starts
Mhm.
for teenagers actually
Oh.
next Monday.
Uh-huh.
It's in the Hobbyverse Center, like it's for youth, Center for Youth.
Uh-huh.
And we will be doing like musical improvisations. It won't be like therapy, but
Uh-huh.
it will be like for this expression, musical improvisations for teenagers. So
Uh-huh.
we will have like 10 meetings, and it's actually for free.
Ah,
So, I mean, as I always say now, if you're not a teenager watching this, just so invite your child to come there, because I really
yes.
think it will be a very nice open space, safe
Uh-huh.
space to explore, this inner world. So that's for teenagers, and
Uh-huh.
for adults. I don't, put it there yet, but it will be on the 20th or something in October. There will be a circle for women for discovering, exploring this voice. So it's a voice meditation.
Uh-huh.
And then probably in the next days, there will be an open music therapy group session. That's
Uh-huh.
also free, just to come to get to know and to explore it. So those are for the, open sessions that all
Oh my
join.
goodness. That is so cool. All Lithuanians and ladies living in Vilnius can come and join
Yes.
Greta next month. That's exciting. All right. Thank you so, so much once
Thank
again for
you.
coming on. I
Such
really
a
appreciate you.
pleasure, really.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, have a good week. Enjoy. Have fun. Go ahead and make your own week or make someone's week.
To let this sunshine
Yes.
shine through this whole week.
All right. That's awesome. Thanks, Greta.